Oh man, we're in the big leagues now. I see a long equation, long expressions on both sides. But whenever you have a long expression on a single side of the equation, you just combine the like terms together. So I'm looking at, say, these terms in red. Oops. These terms in red. In red. Which we can combine together because they're both x terms. Remember that x is just 1x. So this is minus 1x. Negative 9x minus 1x. We combine those together into negative 10x. Negative 10x. And then in green here, I see two constant terms that I can combine together, and that will give me plus 5. Negative 10x plus 5 equals sign. That's neutral. That's not part of any particular expression. And over here, I will again make my red terms my x terms, and my green terms will be my constant terms. In red, I have 11x plus 12x. That equals a total of, adding them up together, 23 x's. And then I'm going to, well, it's hard to tell if I'm going to add or subtract. I see minus 10 plus 15. Whenever they're fighting, the bigger number wins, okay? Negative 10 loses to positive 15 because 15 is the greater absolute value. So 15 minus 10 is 5. So the result in green is another plus 5. Oh, interesting here. Okay, so now I can take my terms and I can subtract on both sides. Which one am I subtracting? I'm choosing to get rid of my constants on the left-hand side. So I'm getting rid of this plus 5, not necessarily this plus 5. All right, once I actually do that, however, you may notice that since I have the same thing on both sides, I'm just left with negative 10x equals 23x. Once I get to this point, I can just be like, man, I'm actually done. Because there's only one number which, when I multiply it by two different numbers, in this case 23 and negative 10, I get the same thing, and that number is 0. That number is 0. I guess you could do it this way. You could move the 23 to the other side by subtracting 23x on both sides. You would get negative 33x equals to 0, and then divide both sides by negative 33, but that's the long way to do it. When you get that expression, 0 divided by negative 33 is 0. When you get that expression that says some number of x's equals some different number of x's, the only solution is 0. The only solution is 0. Let's try a different one. One which hopefully doesn't end up being 0 in this case. Another one we can do is 5x minus 2. 5x minus 2 plus 15x minus 14 equals negative 10 plus 18x plus 2 plus 3x. Combine like terms together. In green, I have my constants. Boom, boom. Those are going to be negative 16. In red, I have my variables. 5x and 15x. That's 20x. 20x minus 16 equals. And then again, in green, I have my constants. Negative 2 plus 11. Doesn't matter what order you do these in. You'll get the same answer either way. I said negative 2 plus 11. This is positive 2 and negative 10. Negative 10 will win out because the minus and the plus are fighting, but the negative wins because the negative absolute value is larger. So this will be negative 8. I like to put my constants over on the side so that I have room to put my variables first. And then in red, I have 18 plus 3, 21 x's. So 20x minus 16 equals 21x minus 8. Now we're just solving an older version of the problem. We're going to subtract 21x on both sides to get all the x's over to the left. And I'm going to do this in a single step. I'm also going to add 16 on both sides to get all the constants over to the right, because I want this to cancel so that I don't have any constants on the left, and I want this to cancel so that I don't have any x's on the right. All my x's should be on the left. All my constants should be on the right. Total up. What do we get here? We get 20 minus 21, that's negative 1. So this is negative x equals, and then we're left with only constants over here. Negative 8 plus 16 is positive 8. Negative x equals 8. And if negative x is 8, then x is negative 8. But what you can do, if you want to formalize that, is divide both sides by negative 1. Divide them both by negative 1, because negative divided by negative gives a positive, and you're left with just x. That'll equal the constant negative 8. And that's the answer. Just to review, this means you combine like terms and then treat it as the same equations that you had in the past. Just combine like terms on both sides.